Are we up on YouTube now? Hey YouTube, how you doing, YouTube? It's all good over here, YouTube. I'm just gonna keep saying YouTube because we're on YouTube.
All right.
They don't
Thank
need
you,
my
Africa.
face. You just need
No
my. You just
worries.
need
No,
my
you know you.
ticks.
You're good. It's always.
Ah, you're calling. Okay.
Always. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow. So
always.
we have two races in the in this in the building. What is this? Who is this? He's a song, Abby.
Abby Spaceship Boy.
Oh, interesting.
Ah, that's so cool.
He has like a bunch of these 1 minute songs that are so great for
Nice. For fillers.
yeah, but also fantastic to listen to.
Absolutely.
The Grapevine on the Smooth Breakfast Show. Entertain the buzz with the gossip, local and global. All celebrity gist. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:15 a.m.
Here we go. Here we go.
Is that actually the wording? All right, and here we are. It is time for the Grapevine for Thursday morning on Smooth Breakfast. I'm Shopper Martins, and I've got Oris and James Silas in the studio.
Yeah. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody.
Boom,
Good
boom,
morning.
boom. Did you
Hey,
see what I
today's
did?
my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Sarah.
Oh, it's Sarah's
Oh, really? Oh, happy
Papa
birthday
loves
to
you,
your
Mama loves you
daughter.
too.
Happy
Everybody,
birthday.
shout out.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Look at see how you just threw that up.
No,
I
so
beg,
see, I said because if I just don't say it now, I'll just forget.
I beg.
Papa ignores
Cake.
me.
How old is she now?
Cake. So she's 9 now.
Oh wow.
Wow.
She's a big girl.
Big
She's
girl
getting
now.
married very soon. I've told her she has to move to my house.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh. Well done, Father. And of course, do join us. Join us wherever you can. We're streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. You can leave your comments up on the live stream. We are up on Twitter at smooth981FM. Use the hashtag grapevine981. We're even up on James Silas's Insta
Yeah,
live.
exactly.
Yeah.
Instagram live.
Yeah.
James Silas at James Silas.
Hi.
Exactly.
Hi.
Join us.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sound was a kiss that I blew to.
I was wondering like exactly like this.
Yeah, no, that was the kiss. I blew, and I was like, oh, it came on air. And of course, we are taking your comments up on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 981. Now, we're going to start off the grapevine with some sad news. So, news came out yesterday that Tom Parker, who is the lead singer of The Wanted, he died at the age of 33 after being diagnosed with a terminal brain cancer. This was back in 2020, actually,
Yes.
October 2020. And so The Wanted had been a pretty popular band in the early to mid to late 2000s, and then they got back together again in 20.
That's the one.
Yeah,
About,
yeah, and they got back together again. Was it in 2020 or 2021?
It was
I think
actually
it was.
last. I think it was
Yeah,
last year.
it was. Yeah, anyway,
Last year.
yeah, 2021. So they got back together, and they were going to release a greatest hits album with new music as well, and they were holding a charity concert for him as well, and it was called Inside My Head, which I thought was very actually fantastically named. And so it's just sad to see this happening, but it's something that they had expected. So God bless your soul, rest in
Yeah.
peace.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah. All right, and now let's move on because there was murder on Twitter. Like there were all threats and everything going on. So that's how yesterday I ended the show quite abruptly because I was like, guys, I gotta go because Tamaya just tweeted and I've seen the tweets. I was like, I'm off to investigate because I knew Grapevine was coming up today. So what exactly is going on between Timaya and Ubi Franklin that they had to take it to Twitter and say, you're Ifeanyi's nanny and bring David into the mix as well.
Apparently, sometimes Timaya had that incident where
The hit and run, yeah.
yes,
Let's call it what it is.
and then he put out an apology. He
Did-
put out an apology
did
to apologize to the girl. Like,
Oh, he did. I
yes,
didn't.
he did.
I didn't see
On
that.
Twitter, like the whole. It looked like that apology had a letterhead itself and signed by Timaya. So and that was of course after the several dragging and.
Okay, yes. Okay, after the dragon. Okay.
Yeah. So what's his name? Ubi Franklin
Ubi.
had gone the next day. I think he put out that tweet or that apology on the 3rd of March, and then Ubi Franklin had gone maybe the next day to comment on that, and like as an older entertainment guy or something. This is something you should have done
Earlier.
Earlier, yes.
Which is true, by the way. Which is true.
So I think Timaya did not see that information or did not see that comment
On time,
as at
exactly.
the time.
That's
So,
at the time he made it.
and you know how it is.
Or maybe you're just festering in his head, and just like
So
no.
he visited it later and saw the message and sort of now decided to reply.
Yeah,
Because he
exactly.
had a lot of comments under that particular post. But I think he just identified Ubi's one, and then sometimes they have underlying ailments between their relationship.
Ailments.
I love that.
So
That's an
he
interesting.
decided to
Ailments.
bounce back and didn't want to
And
let the
address.
whole nanny and that's like okay. And
Seriously, remember
that's
when
where
they give
Ubi
you
now
the-
revealed. No, he now said, "Oh, remember how I beat you
How
up
I beat you up, yes,
in
January last year.
year,
And Uber, exactly.
And Ubi, and so then the whole banter back and forth now,
It's not banter, apparently. Everybody is serious about it.
man. So but as I yesterday evening, so I saw another comment. So what was the thing? Timaya posted a picture with the caption, "Who needs a nanny or do you need a nanny?" Something like that. Not Franklin, no. So you can just, and then Ubi came here to put to comment and with laughter emojis saying that no, you cannot afford me or something. So I also start thinking that they've started making it light, like it might not be as serious.
Well,
as-
we certainly hope so. We certainly
Yeah,
because
so-
I mean we saw the one that happened in the US. So I'm not trying to have people. I'm trying to have Nigerians recreate. Two famous people recreate
But to be
violence.
fair, it was Ubi that started off this whole I can recreate it. And now, well,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but but that wasn't true point actually but that wasn't directed at Timaya at the time.
no, it wasn't directed
you know?
to my, but it was, you know what? When it's directed at the general public, it becomes, yeah.
A few people picked their sub from that thing actually. There was the comedian, I go save.
There was like a
Yeah,
same
yeah.
who came out
Who
and-
said that?
yeah.
Who came to say, you know what, this isn't quite right, which I agree with. I don't think it's quite right. However, I think from them, people are just throwing up. I mean, I don't know. It's Nigeria and everything. If it trends in the US, people want to
Yes,
find a way
that's
to do
happened
it in Nigeria.
I said there's no need to be sending, to be setting precedents. That's the thing. The lawyer in me came out, and that was the whole point of
Okay.
the Chris Rock of the slap. Every time I say it, I have to do the, ensuing action. But that was the whole. I was like, man, this is going to be setting a trend. We're already hot tempered here.
Exactly.
There's
Over
no
here,
light.
right?
There's
Exactly.
no
People
light.
people are already
So,
angry. Now
you
you want
know,
to add this
now
one
you want to be
to our
at this
stuff.
slap. We were already just trying to move away from Bianca, and then, all right.
Exactly.
well. But yeah, so let's actually go back to that because this story is just not dying. So
It cannot die. It will not die. It will
cannot
never
die.
die.
Okay, calm down.
Think about it. Next year at the Oscars,
It's gotten victory
There
over
is-
death. Is that what you're trying to say here?
certainly, because next year they're going to make a reference. Okay, we don't want this to happen. So once again, it's going to
gonna
come
come
up.
up
So
again.
it
It's
should
gonna
just
come up
never
again.
die.
So like we've heard from everybody. We had heard from we heard from Will Smith. We heard from Denzel through Will. We heard that's very important. We heard from Jada, who finally came out and said, it's
Time
a
for
time of healing.
Ridiculous statement.
It's Jada Pinkett Smith. What did you expect?
What did I expect? Well,
Come on.
that's a decent point.
And
That's a
then
decent point.
Chris Smith finally came out, and we heard from Wanda Sykes, by the way. She was like, "Yeah, so Chris apologized to me," and I was like, "Oh my god, he apologized!" That was the headline I read. Then I was not like, "Okay, he apologized to Wanda Sykes." I was like, "Okay."
No, is that what she said? I thought she said they didn't apologize to them after they put in the work, and it was their show. That's what
She said
that's
that
what
he
she said.
apologized to her, that he came to her at an after party, someone's after party.
Okay, after okay.
And that he apologized to her. She
Oh,
was
but that
like,
was
"Why
Chris. It
are
was
you-"
Chris who did that.
Yeah,
Not Will, actually. It
No,
was Chris. It was
of course
Chris.
not Will.
Will was partying,
Will
right?
was partying.
Will was partying.
And I still stand to that is the thing, because for me it was like that thing can be in the heat of the moment, but afterwards they were partying and tweeting about this thing.
True.
Anyway, so Chris Rock, people were like, "Oh, are we ever going to hear from Chris?" And he finally came out. He had a set on. He was back on stage on Wednesday night, and for the first, I love how they put it, so that you can see the incident for the first time since Will Smith slapped him at the Academy Awards, and so he made his first public remarks about it during his show. And he was like, "How was your weekend?" And he's like, "A lot of stuff happened," but then he also said that he hasn't really spoken to anybody about it,
About
and
him.
by anybody, people, detectives, took it to mean Will.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his brother also said the same thing actually. His brother tweeted yesterday. Yes, 2 days ago. Anyway,
Oh,
and
yeah?
he said that Diddy had said that they had settled. Well, of course, Diddy said he didn't say that later, but the brother said
But he
what,
said
nothing.
it.
He hadn't
Have
heard
you-
it.
but
Actually,
it wasn't
I think
him,
he said
so-
it actually.
Because he
But
said
Diddy
it.
was like he didn't say, but which is not. I think he's lying anyway. But yeah, but the brother said that actually, Chris hasn't heard anything from Will. So yeah, that's where the Chris and relationship is at the moment. So nothing has happened yet between the two of them. So I think greatly actually. I'm just hoping that somebody gives me a ticket to the next Chris Rock
But we
show
saw the next. We saw the apology he wrote now on his Instagram. Right?
on Instagram. Yes,
Where
yes,
he
yes.
actually now specifically mentioned, because that's what
Chris.
I thought was the issue, that he had this pedestal apology.
That
to
ridiculous
Academy.
apology
Yeah,
during when he got the
did
Best
not
Actor
mention,
award.
Chris
Nonsense.
specifically. Then that's what he did
Nonsense.
with the Twitter. Sorry, the
With the Instagram post.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but it's not
But
enough.
I
He has
think
to. It
we
has to be
need
a
to-
personal call.
But
Yeah.
the thing, and that was it for me, that it's just he's obviously not apologetic to Chris Rock, and you
Well,
know,
at the time,
for his- I still don't.
You think
believe-
now? You think currently
I
still
still
doesn't?
don't believe.
Really?
I still do
I
not
don't know.
believe.
I want to
I
cut
don't
him some
think
slack
that
and
he
say
would have been
yes,
remorseful.
he
I
feels
feel like-
remorseful at the moment.
Yeah.
He feels remorseful about his actions, but not towards the person. So I think he feels generally remorseful, like, man, dang, I shouldn't have slapped somebody, but
On camera at least.
but on camera, maybe somewhere
In the dark, I could
in
have
the
done
dark
it.
of the night. But I also believe that he does not feel remorseful towards Chris. And here's the thing: for me, I do
interesting.
believe that he doesn't need to. He didn't need to feel any sort of way about Chris. Like, he could have been angry with him and everything. It is just the violence of it all.
Of course,
that
yes.
was so
I
shocking.
totally agree.
Yeah.
That was
I'm like
so
you can
shocking.
I feel like when it comes to jokes, you don't have to take everything as funny. But if you feel hurt, you can feel hurt in your stomach. That's fine. Just don't go out and take it out on the guy. I feel like that's just.
Oh, and I love how everyone
That's
that says
the
the strike of Bianca continues. Don't forget about other
This is a
issues.
strike of Bianca.
Yes.
That's actually that's not the next film from Nollywood. Strike of
So
Bianca.
what-
Oh, I would watch that.
apart from I mean, Chris, or what's it called, Will Smith taking it out on him based on the fact that he just felt somehow about the wife's condition, and so on in terms of
Of
that
Jada
whole hair thing.
Pinkett Smith's
So, which
alopecia.
I think,
Mhm.
by the way, that shouldn't have been that. But that's also that part where you have somewhere in your head and you think that this guy, yes, in competition, perhaps that is not particularly funny, but then you now come and want to start talking about.
But here's the thing.
Making jokes about my wife.
I don't get. Chris
so,
is super funny. Artist
so
to me.
the
Yeah,
Acad-
I think it's great.
Yeah, but to this guy,
I
man,
think Chris
thinking that
Rock is hilarious. But the Academy has finally has come out, and they said that they're still investigating,
They're investigating
things,
and stuff.
and that they've
Like they did not see the
initiated
video.
disciplinary
Ah,
proceedings,
come on.
and they said that they actually asked him to leave and he refused.
Yes, I heard that part. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
Yes.
That certainly makes because initially it was like the Oscars themselves had done a bad job of the night because he should have been asked to leave. But apparently it seems like they actually asked him and he refused to leave.
Yes, but they also said we could have handled the situation
Yes,
differently. So I wonder
differently.
how they asked him to leave.
Exactly. Maybe they just
Mr.
said,
Smith,
okay,
Mr. Smith, sir,
Ross, can you leave?
can you go? Oh, you don't want to?
Okay, you can sit.
Feel free.
No, but you know, also
have to
with
insist.
A lot of these big awards.
Yeah.
The Academy has the right or the power to withdraw that award. You know that.
Yeah, that's the thing people are saying might happen. I don't think it will. I don't think it will be too fair, frankly. But
Excuse me, did you say?
But look,
I don't think
another
to
board.
take away the best actor.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair, frankly.
You slap.
No, yeah, what I'm saying is you can suspend him, do anything else, but
I
don't take
don't
away the award. That's what I think.
I don't know. Anyway, we've got messages coming in. So Xavier says, okay, let's see. Xavier says, I will take it from both sides. From Will's side, it's all a joke until you are the joke. People have started digging out past you. Mhm.
Yes, about
Thank
the
you.
same thing.
Thank
yes.
you, because we said this on during Tuesday's Grapevine that Will Smith is also a comedian who
Very.
has his own shows. Who would
He
take
talks smack, I mean, all the time.
thank you pot shots at
At
people?
people, yes.
So you should know what's in the job.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, anyway, continuing on with Xavier's message. Xavier says, and people have started digging out past jokes that Will has made on sensitive issues. So I wasn't expecting Will to slap Chris. On Chris's side, as much as you're a comedian, the word boundary exists in the dictionary for a reason. But you've also
Who would have
seen
thought?
that
What
Chris,
exactly? What is boundary about making a joke about
Chris
somebody's
Rock's
boundary?
boundaries, if you've seen any of his shows, you realize that this is
I mean,
like a little
Dave
rabbit.
Chappelle is worse.
Exactly. Even talking about boundaries.
Yeah.
Chappelle is a, if I forget the white guy, Ricky Gervais.
Oh, Ricky
Terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
Terrible.
I mean, come on. You saw what did he present again? Which one was
The
which one was-
Golden Globes.
Yeah, the Golden
Man, he
Globes.
ripped everybody.
Exactly. People were like, "Oh my god, I'm shooken." But Xavier says on he crossed the line, but like I pointed out earlier, a lot of these comedians don't know how to receive jokes if it's made at them. They're usually poor recipients of it. I know a few of them, and they will tell you that for free. For me, both are neither right nor wrong. They will be all right, last. And he goes on to
Well,
say,
Will Smith will not be alright. I can
he
assure
goes
you.
on to
He
say,
won't be alright.
meanwhile, AY's Easter comedy show is happening this Easter. So let's see if the slap and punch season will enter April or whether it will end in March. So that is from Xavier from Bagada. And he says if he was asked to leave and he didn't, then he should be stripped of the award.
That's what I think.
Actually,
That's what I think.
that's an interesting
Well,
one.
that's an
Because
interesting
if
point.
if the organizers, the people who are handing you the awards are like, can you please
Can
go?
you please leave? And you're like, no.
And you're like, no, they'll be like, okay, we'll just take you stay.
But
we'll
after the
keep
fact,
this.
though, I feel I don't know, man. It's such a confusing thing for me. I'm not sure.
Yes. Everybody is still confused over this. We've got to take a break. I see more of your messages coming in. I'll be reading them after the break. You can, while we're off air, we're still up on youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos.
I'm really just pissed at the so-called black community and the way they're supporting this thing. Just like, guys,
Supposedly what?
supporting Will Smith.
They're supporting Will.
I'm just struck by okay, something like really, you guys really are a very violent culture then, frankly. You know? I'm hearing people say, no, I mean, I saw a lady, and apparently she actually went to Harvard. I'm just like, wow. She said something about how if she disrespected, she would want her husband or whatever to go on. I'm just like, do you understand what could happen? Let me give you a story, by the way.
Yeah.
Recent story. Okay, in fact, it happened like 2012 or 2014. So some guys,
That's
two
not
guys. No, I will tell you why it's recent. Anyway, so they're in the what's it called? In the cinema. That whole part where they're throwing trailers. One guy is on his phone and whatever. So the guy behind him is like, put off your phone.
The bright lights is
That whole thing
distracting
exactly
us.
you get. And so the guy insists and continues doing what he's doing. Twice, 3 times, you know. After a while, this other guy kind of taps him and says, you know what, you should put off this stuff. Apparently, this other guy is trying to tell his nanny just to find out how the daughter is doing because he has left the daughter with the nanny. So anyway, he stands up angry and throws popcorn at this other guy. Guess what happens? The other guy calmly takes out a gun and shoots this guy. Beside the guy who shot the guy is his wife. Beside the other guy is his wife. This is how a moment of violence kind of. And you know, the person who shot the other guy is an old guy. He's like in his 60s.
And
The
somebody
guy in front.
during Freshly Press was sending message, we should be allowed to carry light weaponry. I was like,
So, yeah, and the guy in front is like a veteran. I saying like one of this is in his 40s. He's like a soldier guy. You get, and so normally if you heard about a bout of violence between the two of them, there's no way. Yes, this is real life. I will tell you why it's recent. So you there's no way you would hear that, and I think that the younger guy who is a soldier did not win that fight. But it's no longer became a fight anymore. It was a thing where the guy was killed. So why I say it's recent is because the case went, of course, they took it to court. The case just ended 2 months ago. This is like a 4 or 6 years,
damn, wow.
whatever. It ended and guess what? They acquitted the guy.
Oh.
Yes. The old man was acquitted. You know why? It's in Florida and they have that stand your ground rule.
oh.
So now you have a wife. I was thinking to myself, people
yeah.
don't understand how instance of violence that I think is like something small can become really, really bad. So of course, this guy's defense was that in the dark of the whatever, he had no idea what was thrown at him.
Yeah. Oh that
was the defense. I'm telling you. So I'm just like, guys feel like this violence thing is like something I just do once and then it's over. You have no idea what's this small thing you have done, the kind of repercussions.
Dang.
So
Whoa.
yeah, so for this guy, the guy who was acquitted had spent like some time in jail during the whole trial, you get. But now he's a free man. The wife now of the younger guy, who you'd say, you know, who at least, like I said, you would admit that one should have been the winner of the, in quotes, a fight. You get, that one is bereaved now. That's like, so everybody has lost. On top of this small thing that could have just been solved if you just, I don't know, keep the phone or explain to the guy what's happening.
What's happening? Yeah.
Just like, man,
absolutely.
ridiculous. I mean, I
That
heard
is
them
so
like,
sad.
wow, terrible story, terrible. But just kind of flash,
Wait,
blow to the head,
that's
and then.
not a sad story now, Maurice.
Oh,
I'm sorry, no. But yeah, just like trying to explain the whole thing about like how people feel like violence is something that you just do and leave. Man,
Okay,
sometimes
we're
it's
back
not like
in.
that.
studio. Oh my days, people! You need to see the story that Oris was sharing off air on YouTube.
I'm crying, like literally, I'm crying right now.
I'm
I'm sad.
speechless. I'm very sad
Oh,
now.
why did you tell me so much?
Okay. So make sure you, if you are up on YouTube watching, make sure you send your comments, leave your comments up on the live stream, and of course, keep on sending those messages in to 0809 444 That's the WhatsApp channel. And before we get into the big Bruce Willis news, so Oris, James, prepare yourselves. Let me get into the story, rather into the messages. So this message is from Zen, who says Rock and Smith possibly staged. If Will Smith had a clenched fist, that would have been more believable. Chris
Who
Rock
keeps
also
saying that?
turned his face before, and saying tickets to Chris Rock's shows skyrocketed after the fracas. Zen also says, "What do we think would have happened if he had been Seinfeld on stage? I doubt Will would have done anything. He wouldn't have tried slapping Dave Chappelle, as he would have gotten beaten, and it's all wrong though for people, black people like us." And Oluwakemi says, "For me, Rock's joke was insensitive, but Will Smith shouldn't have reacted the way he did. He obviously had stuff that he's dealing with, and his
Of course,
reaction showed.
I think we know what he's dealing with.
No, but
And
guys,
it's a month of the year,
Right.
August."
guys,
Yeah.
I will just look at that joke. What he said.
Okay.
Um, Jada had the low cut,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he just said,
The GIDN
Jane,
too.
two. Like you look so good that you should.
It
There
was
should be
defense time.
a two. Like, but I feel like, and then he probably didn't know. But I mean, I saw that report that was saying that he's supposed to know that he actually knew. And then, of course, because that information has also been public, that
To be honest,
so dealing with that.
I had no idea. But I'm even if you even had the idea, I'm just like, have you seen the film? They actually,
Of course,
Guys,
and there it is not
that had
about.
very. Is it not Berimo? What's her name?
This is a
Demi
story
Moore,
that,
Demi Moore, Demi.
that
Demi
won't die. We need to move on from
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
True. Next
Yeah.
week we'll be here again.
You know. And who's this message in from? Tokoni Douglas says it is fair to withdraw the Oscar. Zidane
so?
headbutted Maserati in the World Cup final at a time when he was unarguably the best footballer,
Sure.
and he was banned. What Will Smith did was unconscionable. The award should be withdrawn, and he should just be banned by the Academy.
That's what I think.
Whilst Imo from Ikeja says Jada has a condition that she's totally rocking. Might I even say she's more beautiful than most ladies with hair that night. And Chris made a mild joke about it.
Mild,
Will
I agree. Mild
laughed,
joke.
looked at Jada, and reacted. And the Imo now goes deep. Says Will is under a spell. After he's been punished, he should get psychological help.
Yes, that part I agree with.
And Ali says that Chris Rock's alopecia joke wasn't offensive at all, in my opinion. That's Ali from Apapa. In fact, I felt he was trying to convince Hollywood to get Jada a movie role on the condition, and that would have been a great gig for her. Oh wow, that's a real way to spin
To
that
spin
story.
it.
As Dr. Davis from Ikoyi says, certainly Will Smith will have to be punished to deter others from walking up to the stage
Certainly.
to slap, knock, or punch people. If you cannot take any form of jokes, don't bother attending any
Do
events
not.
with comedians.
What's his name?
Oris is
her name?
clapping for you.
Sorry.
That's Dr. Davies.
That's
Come on.
Doctor, yes.
And
Very true.
Ataya says certainly will have to be punished to deter others from walking. Oh wait, no, I've already read that. Yeah, that was moving on. Taya has sent in a bunch of
messages.
messages. So I'll just have to read the last one saying Mike Tyson to host the next Oscars case closed.
Right? Exactly. Nobody would have any.
Whilst Chizoba says, thanks so much, James. The joke was on the haircut, not the sickness. G.I. Jane is a great movie, especially as it presented women being able to go the extra mile.
Exactly.
All right, people, your messages are coming in, but there's more to
There's more
Grapevine than
stuff.
the slab.
Than-
All right, so let's do this. So, oh my gosh, so let's talk about the news about Bruce Willis, which we got to hear yesterday on Instagram because we saw the post that his family members made. I saw it on Rumors Instagram page, and that is about the fact that he's going to be stepping away from his acting career because he's been diagnosed with aphasia, which is a condition that impedes a person's ability to speak and write. And considering the fact that we were just talking last time, we were talking about Bruce Willis was about the Razzies. I feel
Yeah.
kind of sad about this now.
Well, I'm not. I don't feel too sad about the jokes we made, but I feel sad. Like it's not a great condition at all. So what this means is like he can't quite identify words, which is think about it. It's a terrible, 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 terrible thing actually. So yeah, I mean, I feel really bad about that, and maybe this probably explains. I don't know if it does. If he had been diagnosed a while ago, And maybe that's why he needed the money. I was doing all of those terrible films he was doing. Maybe.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
so I
feeling
guess yes,
sad.
I understand. I kind of get yes your unhappiness with that.
I'm just like, oh
But
boy.
yeah, if that was the case, I kind of understand what you're doing, bro. Still bad movies, but I
you
kind of
know.
understand your choices.
But actually, so his stunt double came out and spoke about this because he's been his stunt double for how many years? Is it 17 years, something like that?
Oh, the same guy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, for 17 years. So he talked about how actually recently, over the last few months, that he deteriorated and that he also looked a little leaner, and that that during while he was on set, that they had noticed and they were saying, oh, that he's a bit distracted, that he's just not all
Yeah.
there. That's and it showed, but they just put it down to he's a star. Lots of things are happening around him. But yeah,
Yeah, really
so
terrible stuff, man.
it's terrible stuff. But at least he it's good that he still has a legacy
Of
of
course,
Of
of
course.
course.
Die Hard
Yeah, the
movies
Die Hard
and
movies, yes.
other
Armageddon.
movies. Yeah.
I need to
Oh my
actually
gosh,
read.
Armageddon. Yeah.
Yes, that was
to
him
read
as
more
well.
to see that. So, this aphasia.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between this and dementia.
Oh.
So what I was
I
trying to say, yeah,
can't-
it's more. I think because it's been a while since I studied pharmacy. Anyway, aphasia, like I said, is about words.
Okay.
Dementia is like consciousness. It's like you're not even sure who you are. Bruce probably still knows he's Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Dementia is like you won't even know, am I this guy, am I that guy? But aphasia is more like you can't read, you can't write. So when it comes to do with words, you can't recognize words anymore. Which of course makes it hard because he's an actor, script. What then do you
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
Yeah, so
You get-
basically,
yeah.
I'm even looking at it because the National Institute of Deafness and Other Communication Disorders said that it's a disorder that results from damage to portions of the brain that are responsible for language.
Yeah.
So it's all about language. Yeah, gosh,
Yes, really, really, I don't know, man.
it would be interesting.
You just understand how, I mean, we think we are all solid, but it just feels like, certain things can just go wrong, and then you're like, this person is not this person.
But it would be
How
really
old is he
interesting
now?
to see
67,
Mm.
almost
It would-
70.
It would be interesting to if at any point, but this is just curiosity
Yeah.
and no intent on prying. I'm not a fan of prying into private lives, but if at any point they will reveal the underlying cause of the aphasia, because the aphasia is usually due to something like a stroke or a head injury
Okay.
or a brain tumor or some sort of neurological disease.
Okay.
So it's not just aphasia. It's usually due to something.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's not some of these things are like congenital. It's like nothing might have just happened. It really could just happen. It's like an aneurysm. You will get like a blood vessel in your brain just burst. You don't need to have hit anything. It just could happen. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
that's what I'm
this
saying. The
one-
human body is a very
Like I said, it comes from
fragile
damage.
thing.
So
Fragile thing.
what happened to damage that part of his brain? Yeah, okay. But yeah, let's move on. I'm sad. But who remembers Low Frosh?
Of course I do. Of course I think everybody does.
Because he comes out, he gets signed, and then he just gets put away. So
Oh my goodness.
and so he and his girlfriend have settled as she's withdrawn the case of the domestic violence suit that was filed against him. She's withdrawn the case, and
Well, hopefully that. So I don't know if this. Of course, I'm not sure they are back together. Hopefully they are not.
I
Hopefully
not.
they are not. Hopefully they are not.
One of those settle out of court, but not necessarily tell the judge that was settled out of court. I'll
don't-
just withdraw the case.
Okay.
End of story. So that's why.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Like what? So we can tell it between ourselves, but
Yeah,
we
but
would
don't
just
tell the judge.
just remove the case. But yeah, probably. But yeah, actually, he was the one who beat up his girlfriend earlier, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember I saw the photos at the time. It was really, really.
yeah. He
bad,
beat his
actually.
girlfriend to a pulp.
Is that not how he lost the stuff with Davido? She was signed by Davido. at the time.
Yes,
That's
that's the problem. He was signed with DMW, and then he beat his girlfriend to quite
Yeah, quite
an
graphic.
unrecognizable
Oh,
degree,
yeah.
and then he all his offer was withdrawn, and he too was withdrawn from society.
From society, honestly.
Yes.
I always think about people like this. Okay, now you will have. I mean, they've settled in quotes. What happens to the career? Is that still a
Did
possibility?
the career would take flight in first place?
That's
I'm just saying, if he releases his music now, minus Davido, would anybody even care?
It depends on how they spin it. Really, I mean, if we care that he has been forgiven and the case has been withdrawn, like if it's
Yeah,
in the
and,
news,
yeah,
know.
unlike what's his name, Chris Brown. He's not like had a career that
Because
was
Chris
big
Brown
before.
had a vibrant
He
career
had, yeah,
before
before.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
You get exactly.
Yeah.
So it feels like you were about to start and then
Boom,
boom.
you sank.
Well, with your own hands, yeah. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure I can. I don't think there's nobody else to blame except the guy. Anyway, this just shows you violence is really not the way, guys.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Don't hit anybody.
Please don't blame it on the devil again.
Exactly.
Just keep it to yourself.
The devil must really be angry, by the way. It's like,
He's like, what
did
if
I
these
do?
Nigerians keep calling my name? You know? And very quickly, let's just take a look at this one. Anthony Anderson's wife, Alvina Stewart, has filed for divorce after 22 years. We thought that they would go on strong and just keep going, but apparently no. 22 years was more than enough for her. She was like, it's okay, guys.
I've
We're
done this.
We're done.
I've
But you know,
done.
I
I've done
think
time.
with
I've done
all
time.
this story about
Divorces.
divorces and stuff, I just maybe we should make it. We should legalize, or we should come up with something that says let this wedding or marriage certificate have like expiry date where it has to be renewed officially.
I've heard that.
So
I've,
after
I've
10
heard.
years or 20
I've
years,
heard that
you
said
know, go on.
before.
So if not after 20 years, end of contract, we can shake hands and say
You know, it's
goodbye.
just dissipated. Wow.
Exactly.
Mm.
What if they? How about children and stuff? How would they? What,
no,
what do you suggest? What do you suggest?
You're still co-parent children. We have some people that are baby mamas, baby fathers.
No, we even actually have friends who are just getting together to co-parent.
Is that, I feel like that only
Yeah,
happened. That only happened on Friends, the show.
No,
Actually.
no. It actually happened. What's that guy's
You like-
Van Jones,
Mm.
CNN,
the CNN guy?
Yeah, CNN correspondent contributor.
Isn't he gay?
Yeah, well, he people. He's got 3 children. I'm pretty sure he had a.
I don't know. This guy, middle of life, they can say, you know, I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway.
he and his
They'll
friend
kick
got
in themselves,
together. He and his friend got together, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to bring a baby into this world,
All right.
and then we're going to co-parent the baby, just as friends." Yeah, so it's happening in real life. Thank you very much. It's not just on Friends. And on that note,
These
we
people are
end
killing
the
me.
show. We end the show. So make sure you go and catch Horace up on Instagram, up on Twitter,
On Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Catch Oris, yes.
Catch Horace Graham and catch Horace.
On
Yes.
Twitter, yes.
And you can find
James
Silas.
Silas everywhere.
Just go and
Even your neighborhood
go and
playground.
put catch in front of your name makes for a really smooth
No, if you
introduction.
catch Oris, you catch me too now.
Which is true, actually.
At
That's not
James
a
Silas across all social
at-
media
fact.
platforms.
At James Silas.
Yeah. I'm going to catch his. Oh gosh, the catch is here to stay.
Oh, so I have a friend.
There's
so
a reason why I
before
put
we
it there,
go,
by the
go.
way.
I have a friend who's a lawyer who actually is saying that she agrees with the fact that it should have like an expiry date so that can move on.
Shaka, what do you think, by the way? Just
You'll find out up on James's feed because we've ended the show.
Yes.
And oh, it's up on our YouTube feed, youtube.com/smooth981
Yes.
FM Lagos. Grapevine continues up there.
Bye.
Goodbye.
so Shaka, do you
Let's
think
utilize our
do you
feed.
think we
Yes,
should be
now.
having
Listen,
You see
with
the
the way
Black China
marriages
one?
are going now,
Black China, which one?
Black China, she was saying, oh,
about her baby daddies